Can I tell you a story about a guy named John? John was in high school and he was on the football team, but he was also a class clown. When the coach would ask the players to run 10 laps, he'd run 1. When he asked the players to do 50 push-ups, he would do like 5 or 10. Well, one day, somebody from the office came out onto the field and handed a letter to the coach. And it said John on the envelope. And so the coach goes to give it to John, and John's like, "Coach, can you just read it for me?" So the coach reads it, and his countenance changed. And he looked at John, he said, "John, son, go home, your father passed away." Well, anyway, the coach looked at him, he's like, "Listen, don't worry about the game." It was the big state championship game coming up that next Saturday. He's like, "Don't worry about it, just be with your family, we'll be fine." So anyway, that Saturday comes, the big state championship football game, and lo and behold, the team's running out on the field, led by the head coach, and the last person to come on the field was John. And John runs up to the coach. He says, Coach, you gotta let me play. You gotta let me play." And the coach is like, no, you're on the bench, no chance. So anyway, they go out, they play, and that first quarter not so good, and they're well into the second quarter, and it's 21-3. The other team is dominating, and John runs up to the coach. "Coach, you don't understand. Please let me play, Coach. Please let me play." And the coach says, "No chance. We can still win this game." Well, anyway, they go to halftime, 21-3, and the coach gives a pep talk. "Come on, guys, we can do this. Go out there and win one for the Gipper." So they run back on the field, and John runs up to the coach. He says, "Coach, you don't understand. You gotta let me play." And the coach looks at John and says, "Listen, it's only 21-3. We can win this game. You're on the bench." Well, anyway, it still is not good. The other team scores again. It's 28-3. There looks like there's no chance of winning. There's a couple minutes left in the third quarter, and John desperately runs up to the coach. He says, "Coach, please, put me in, Coach, please." And the coach looks up at the clock, and he's like, "Well, I don't think John can hurt us." He's like, "Okay, go in, son." Well, John steps on the field, and I don't know what happened. Something miraculously changed. And he runs up to the huddle, and it's like when he got to the huddle, it was like he touched everybody around him, and something shifted in that game. This team was like everywhere, and John could run, he could throw, he could catch, he did it all. He played offense and defense, and the whole momentum shifted. And before long, it was 28-24. They're back in the game with under a minute left in the game. The other team's got the ball. John's in on defense, playing cornerback position, covering the wide receiver. And the other team knows if they can get a first down on this play, the game's over. And so the quarterback drops back to pass, and he throws it over in the direction of John, and John lunges out and catches it, intercepts the ball, and runs 60 yards for a touchdown. And the clock stopped, and the game was over, and the crowd was going crazy. There was pandemonium, like everybody was screaming and going nuts. And the coach grabs the other coaches, and the clipboards are flying, and the hats are flying, and all the players are running down to the end zone, picking up John and jumping on him and lifting him up on their shoulders. And the coaches run down, and the head coach runs down, and he pulls John off the shoulders of one of the players. And it's like almost like everything paused, and there was silence. And the coach says to John, "Son, what happened out there?" And John looks at the coach, and he said, "Coach, do you remember the other day when you read that letter?" And he's like, Yeah, I remember about your dad dying." He's like, "Yeah, you see, Coach, my father was blind, and today was the first day that he got a chance to see me play." Now I just want to say something. Maybe you're sitting there right now and you feel like nobody recognizes you. You're working hard, you're doing this, and nobody sees what you're doing, and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. If you'd like to maybe make some extra money to go along with your job and maybe one day turn into something more, I want to invite you to meet my friends, because we're going to recognize you. We're going to build you up. We're going to support you. We're going to help you to accomplish your goals. And you're going to step out on that field, and something is going to change. And when you get into the huddle of all the people around you, you're going to make a difference in their lives. So if you're interested, then I want to encourage you to reach out, contact me. You don't want to miss this. Come meet my friends. Thank you very much.